Welcome to Indie Tea, Demos to Discovery, and today we have a returning guest from Austria, Black Marine, also known as Marina Vesic. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Welcome,
Yes.
Marina.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for having me again. It's lovely to be in your
Pleasure.
show.
For those of you out here who didn't see that episode, she was here the last time with MX the American, Ray Terrell, and Mel Davis, and they are up for the Josie Music Awards in Nashville, September 20th, for the Vampires Project. And if you haven't heard it yet, once you do, you will be addicted, because I am. It's people usually say, "What do you have on repeat?" That's what I have on repeat right now. Not just the song Abby Vision, Abby Normal Vision, the whole thing. I mean, you, Mel, and Ray did an amazing job, and
Thank you so
congratulations.
much. I'm just so grateful to all of them, to Ray and Melvin, for all of our work together. I mean, this wouldn't be possible without each of us. I mean,
You were
it's
all
just
brilliant,
amazing how everything worked out.
and I appreciate you, following up. So, all right, so let's focus on you here. So, before Black Marine and before your doctorate, take me back to Belgrade. What was young Marina, other than shorter, actually like musically?
Shorter. That's so cute, shorter. Yeah, well, I always knew that I'm going to be composer. That is the fact. But I was like interested like in so different style of music. Like my mom, she loved always like classical music, and so my dad is like more into like rock music. So at home, I would be surrounded with all kind of music, but then I would sit by the piano and play whatever I wanted to. Although I didn't start to learn yet, like music theory and everything. I was just like playing something like for myself. And growing up in Serbia, actually all the experiences made a Black Marine today because I grew up through three wars that was happening in former Yugoslavia in the 1991 and 93 and then 1999. So I think I don't talk about that very much, but as I get a lot of questions like about like why Black Marine, and so I started like to I was starting like to think like about it because there are like so many things going on in life. It's good sometimes to do some kind of reflection and to
How many
think about.
languages? How many languages do you speak?
Well, officially free.
Okay.
But when Yugoslavia split, then I speak like what, like nine. So,
You mean the
but
dialects,
I
different
have
dialects?
friends in every country in former Yugoslavia, so we all understand each other. It doesn't matter. Like this kind of experiences and everything, definitely made me tough in life, and I knew what I wanted to be when I was so small, and it's just, I think, through different experiences, today is it's what it is. So
Based on what you just said, all of growing up in three wars, when you look back at each of these stages, did this contribute to the artist you are now?
probably because I was very small back then. I was in the school. I was in a music school and like a primary school, but I was playing piano like all the time. So music helped me a lot during that time, although sometimes we would be like in the basement, like when you hear the sirens, you need like to go into the basement. But luckily it lasted only 3 months, so it didn't last longer. But I don't think about that, but obviously a lot of experiences because all of my friends, like they are all around the world now. I mean, we grew up in the same circumstances. I think the each one of us is just like it's great to see them successful everywhere because what was it like? What doesn't kill you make you stronger?
You said something to me the last time that really gave me a minute to pause when we're going to get to Shadow in a little bit. when I said, "Gee, I wonder what it's like, to have an orchestra play behind me." And I don't think that'll ever happen at my age. And you said you did exactly what you did now. You looked down and you said, "Peter, never say never."
Yeah.
Remember you said that to me.
Yeah, because like when I look back, like during that terrible and horrible times for us children, like you have a dream, and it's at that moment, of course, it looks like it's impossible, right? Like, but life is not like that. Life is beautiful. I think there are like a lot of opportunities, a lot of people, every people that we meet, friendship that we make. It's just we all involve as a character and as a person, and yeah, I mean
I
everything
want
is
to I want
possible.
to shift a second. You played in a punk band while
Yes.
studying classical music. What did punk music give you that university training could?
Well, definitely more freedom
Well, you sounded
because
like you were pretty free when you were doing classical.
well, I mean, at the university, it's just like what my professor back then used to tell me, like, this is a playground and you can play in that playground, but you can't go outside of that playground. And I was like, why?
I
Why?
like you. I
Like,
really like
like
you.
who said that? And then I composed for my exam. I remember like hardcore song, and my friend was singing, and I played that to my professor, and then he looked at me, and then he said, "You can really write a really good songs, like a great solo songs, like." And he told me back then, like, who can compose like a solo song like this? It's a great composer. That was like a long time ago. So then I was like, okay, but then he said like, but this can go to the exam. Like it's really great. But and then I'm like, if it's great, why we can go to the exam with this? I mean, what's wrong? Like it doesn't fit the style. Okay, okay. So I hire a soprano and then everything was great, and I worked with that soprano like for a decade while I was studying, and yeah. But definitely playing in punk band. I mean, when I joined the guys back then, I remember there was like a keyboard, actually electric pianino, and the first thing like they were like all with guitars and look at me like this, and I'm like, what I'm going to play, the first time, and then I'm thinking like, I don't know if I can do this. You are questioning yourself if you can do that. You don't know because you didn't do it before. And then I had a really great drummer, and then he told me like, Marina, you just play and it will be great. And then of course with that drummer I continue playing like for 10 years with my own punk band, Two Totems. We played like everywhere in Serbia, in Bosnia, like everywhere, like only for piano and drums. So my music is not that soft like when people hear me singing. So but definitely in punk band I experienced something, and it gave me like a wider range of like what I can do. So at that moment I realized, oh, I can do this. So like this is how I as an artist like was involving during that time.
You performed back in November of 2024 right here in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Was that your American debut?
Yes, that was at Stan Harris private residency,
Oh,
and that was like amazing experience. I didn't know that it's going to happen. I just love that, like when life gives you like opportunities, and when you have opportunity, you must take it.
well, that
So,
certainly wasn't one of those examples of when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. That sounds like life gave you some honey.
uh, well, it took like few decades, but at least I'm so grateful that it's happening, like very grateful. So yeah, I mean, I in my audience there was like John Massari and Chris Young and some other people, and it was like a very very small audience. It was kind of like really intimate, like kind of concert. And I remember when I told my colleagues in Prague, like the next year, I said like, well, I dedicated my concert to Chris Young, and he's my very good friend, and I played for him and for the audience, and then they were like, "Oh my God, I don't think I could play in front of him," like, and I'm like, "Why not?" Like, but I think that people have different kind of, I don't know, like if you believe in yourself, if you know and trust yourself, you know what you're doing, you should just do it and people will like it or will not like it. That's the thing. I embraced that opportunity and I said this is my chance so I can show them what I can. This is not like, oh my God, how I'm going to perform. It was like, I'm so grateful I can perform in front of them so they can hear me what I'm doing. And that was like for me, like amazing experience. Like as I said in many interviews, like I really love America. I have so many American friends, and my experience there with all the musicians, it's just like I'm so grateful.
I want to talk about Shadow for a second. When you invited me to the Prague, I guess it was a repeat because you did it in April, but I felt very honored that you asked me to go there. And when I saw it, I thought, wow, that is a different side of Marina that I did not see coming. And by the way, I'm also friends with your husband now. I didn't even know it was your husband because
Yeah, I
I guess he
saw.
listened. He listened to one of my songs that I came out with recently, and he's like, "Oh, good job." I'm like, "Oh, thanks. Who are you and what do you do?"
So,
And then I think I commented, I think I told you about it. Um, so knowing that an orchestra was performing your music, which I am not going to ever say again that that might not ever happen to me. Maybe it will. Who knows? What did that feel like? I mean, that must have been an outstanding feeling.
I when I was small, I like I was like sleeping, like laying in bed, and I could feel and hear the symphony orchestra. Although I didn't at that moment, I couldn't write notes. I couldn't read notes because it was very small. But I remember that I had a vision, like I could hear the symphony orchestra, like this magnificent sound, and I was so small and I didn't have idea like what is going on. The thing with Shadow is that I wrote a song in 2018. And that song, like, there are like few songs, as you know, like sometimes can happen that you write a song in a 10 minutes and you're like really happy with it. Sometimes you are like not happy at all. So,
Took
like
me
for now,
38 took me 38 years to come out with Eleanor Crossing the Thames. So that's
yeah,
how long.
I read, yeah, but it's really great song. I
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed,
Thank you.
very really. But the thing is, like with Shadow, I remember that was the first song that I actually when I composed the song, and I forgot to upload on DistroKid, and I remember, yes, and I remember I was thinking like, oh my God, I so love that song. I think it's a really great song, although it was only for piano and voice. And I was like telling my friends, I don't know, like no one is listening, it's like really strange. And then I go back and then I see like it was a lockdown and I'm looking and I'm like, but I didn't upload the song.
Did you also write all of the orchestration behind that as well?
No, no, the song was orchestrated by my husband.
Oh,
So
he's
he
good. He's
yes,
good.
yes, yes. Well, he is a full-time composer, orchestrator, conductor, and I'm full-time also composer, but also producer. So sometimes we would work together in a project. So the thing is with Shadow is that I believe in energy and in frequency, and I just saw myself in a black dress on a stage.
Well, you looked
And
amazing. I thought you were a vampire or something when I saw you.
thank you so much. And I just had the vision. Sometimes I just have it and it's gone. I don't know. And then after many, many, many years, then we had a little bit of budget and we could invest to to have a recording session in Prague in 2024. So in 2024, we had a recording session with Philharmonic Symphony Orchestra, and we recorded actually two songs. So at that time, when they were like recording my song, I remember at the end I had like 2 minutes to sing like only, I think, because you need to be careful with the time. If it's like booked until 6 o'clock, they're not going to play at 6 o'clock in 1 minute. This is not how it works.
Yeah.
So I had like only 2 minutes like to try with an orchestra. And I remember back then I was like, it was a recording session. So I was like thinking, the thing that was in my brain was like, will orchestra like my voice? I was thinking, I did it, and I was like, and then I sang like, first verse, second verse, chorus, and then time runs and everything, and yeah, that was it. But
That was good. I mean, I thought you did an incredibly good job.
Thank you so much. It was my first time. So, and then this year, because I was nominated by Composer Summit Prague to perform Shadow Live with orchestra, I was of course crying because the process took like 8 years for
Mm.
that to happen. I remember that a friend of mine, he's also a composer living in LA. He called me and he told me like, Marina, when I was in a Vienna choir boy boy choir.
The
Yeah.
chorus, yeah, the
Yeah, yeah.
chorus, like a
I said I mixed the words.
yeah. He was in a choir that were men, or was he a choir in boys like the way they are in
In
church?
Vienna, like very famous one, it still exists.
Okay.
So he had like as a child, like he had like solo with orchestra, and then one day he called me. Then he said like, Marina, back then the conductor told me like when I was small, he just told me like, you just enjoy. That's
It's the
it.
way to do it. It's the way to
And
do
then when first we had like rehearsal. So at the rehearsal, I learned like few sentences on Czech language so that I can say my gratitude and express my grateful how grateful I am to perform with them. They were I was very lucky because they like the music. So when orchestra likes your music, they will play correctly. The first rehearsal, I was singing and I was like, oh my God, it's happening. And all my friends, they were like filming with phones. And second time, it was a dress rehearsal in that conservatory where we played. The performance, it took as a song is 5 minutes and 50 seconds. Um, that moment, I mean, that was the highlight in my career so far because I felt like,
I was gonna say only so far because it sounds like you've got a lot more to give.
Peter, there is like first time that I'm first without my piano because I'm always with the piano. This time I'm like only like with myself, and then there is 64 people. There is no click track. Some people have click track, so
Mm.
then they are in the beat. But we didn't use click track. I like freedom. And then you need to feel this flow with the orchestra because it's not like
I know what you
100%.
mean. It
You need
flows.
to feel that. And
I used to be a lead singer in a band, so I know what you mean. Like you can't
yeah,
just listen to the drums; you have to listen to the guitarist, and you have to listen to the
yeah,
keyboardist.
like everything, like a whole
Yeah,
thing, yeah. And the performance self, I mean, it was like, everything was dark, it was light only on me. And then I just remember I told the orchestra because the stage was like pretty small comparing to where we had rehearsal. And I remember I turned around and I told them, you are so close to me. Like I'm not used to that viola is behind me, and I'm like, I hope this distance is okay. And they were looking at me like, yes. And I'm like, okay, okay.
like yeah,
Because
like
of my dress, there is
and
like cello on the left side, and then there is this, and you need to greet the first violin before you start because that's how it is. And
yeah, I noticed that when my late husband and I we used to go to Disney Concert Hall 5 times a year for the symphony, and I always noticed that when like a guest singer would come out, they would always shake the hand of the first
yes,
violinist.
yes,
Very
yes,
interesting. I didn't know
yes,
that was a
yes.
thing. I thought it was just like, oh, they must know each other. Nope, that's a thing.
Yes, it is. Yes. And well, I mean, these 5 minutes was so important to me, and I wanted to share with my friends that I send a link for the premiere on YouTube because I wanted to share that experience, like how to say live again, a little bit different, but Yeah,
Well, I
I'm very
appreciate you
grateful.
sending that to me. I really do. I was very appreciative and grateful that you sent that to me to share, as I
Well,
really do.
I am grateful that you were joining because I know that you had brunch with friends, and I remember I told you, well, watch with your friends, like
They
watch
weren't
it.
into classical music. They weren't into. I actually changed my schedule around because I really wanted to.
No,
I mean, I can have breakfast with them anytime. They're in Los Angeles. When am I going to have? When am I
no,
going to have time to do this in Prague? So
no, I thought you were with your friends.
no,
Oh
no, I was
no,
by
now I feel
myself. No, no,
bad.
I no, don't feel bad. I
No,
went out with them anyway.
I'll give a shout out now to your friends.
Okay, I'm not going to say their names because then
It's
they'll go,
okay.
Peter, huh?
They know who they
They know who
are
they are.
because they have breakfast with you. So
Well,
okay,
I'm gonna shift a
brunch.
little. I'm gonna shift a little here.
Yeah, we went a little bit.
Um, one of my favorites, and apparently one of yours, David Bowie and Lydia Lunch were important influence. Speaking of lunch, Lydia Lunch were
Lunch, yeah.
were very important for you. And then you eventually became friends with Lydia. What
Yeah,
was that
that's true.
experience like? And did she ever hear what you eventually built from your early influences?
Well, the thing is, it's such a so funny story. I mean, regarding Bowie, I was always a huge fan of David Bowie. He was always different, and I love everything what is different. Like Bjork, like Bowie, like the Amanda Gallas. Give me everything what is different, what is standing out from the crowd. So, but I must say that when I met Mike Garson, that was 2019, I somehow was, I met Bowie band, and that was like almost like dream come true because we don't have any more Bowie with us. But I met all of those people who play with Bowie. Regarding Lydia Lunch, there is like a funny story. Like I had lunch with Lydia Lunch, so we were like joking, right?
Lydia, we're not
So
making fun of you. It's just the name is
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. No, she said that she told me now you can tell your friends I had lunch with Lydia Lunch, and then we start to laugh because she said like my friends tell that all the time, like Lydia, and then I was like, why Lydia Lunch? Why lunch? And then she said, well, because I was eating at friends' houses always. I was eating their food, and that is the story like behind Lydia Lunch. Sorry, Lydia. Hi. Anyway.
We love you, Lydia. We do.
I met a lot of musicians like Mike Garson, Lydia Lunch, and all the other big artists during my dissertation time, my PhD, because I used to do a lot of interviews so that I could write this dissertation. So I remembered I spent like hours with Lydia Lunch in a lobby, and she was telling me stories about Bowie, about her performance, and she did hear the music back then, but that music I played like with a lot of people, and I collaborated I think with like 100 people until now, I don't know. So the thing is that she was at that time she was listening something else what I was doing, and then I remember that that was everything happening like before lockdown, and then I said, I have grand piano at home, so we can do something with grand piano. And then she said, yes, yes. But that never happened. Then happened lockdown. And then I used to see her always because she would come like 2 or 3 times in Vienna to perform. So we would like spend time in a backstage, or once she invited me for sushi. That's also a very funny story because we were like using sticks, and none of us actually could grab the sushi. So, but luckily we were alone. So then one sushi went like on the, on the window, and then we were like, "Oops!" So it's
Oops.
just a funny story. But she's an amazing woman. She's like a great artist, and I mean the collaboration never happened, but she was so kind to me, I remember, because I approached her agent back then, and I said, I want to meet Lydia. And then he went back then, and then he said, She told me if you are nice to her, she's going to be nice to you. And I'm like, yes, because I'm a nice person. And then I went there and she was having like strawberries and champagne, and like, and then she's like, you want some? And then, like this is like we start to talk, and then I told her about my dissertation, and then she was so kind and she told me like, I'm staying there and there, come at, I don't know, like 9 o'clock, and we are going to sit and I'm going to tell all the stories, and all of that is actually in my dissertation. That is now in Austria National Library. So I'm very proud of that,
Cool.
and I'm very proud of that friendship. And yeah,
Do you still stay in touch?
I haven't seen her for a few years now because last time when she was in Vienna, I was doing something differently, so I couldn't make it. But I did send her a message.
You hold a doctorate in music. Does your academic background ever compete with your creative instincts, or does it sharpen them?
Well, I must say that my academical education really helped me because now I know what I'm doing. Like before, like when I was like
When you were
really,
shorter,
really
when you were short.
small, like 3 or 4, I like play like two chords and I'm thinking, oh my God, this sounds amazing. So
Okay.
then you learn like, well, there are like more than two chords, and there is something more than
Most people learn
harmonics. There,
three.
there is there is also dissonance, which is really cool. I so love to use dissonance in my
Oh, one of my
piece.
favorites is the A B E. When you hold them down on a keyboard like a synthesizer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, one of my favorite prog rock bands uses that. The A, the B, and the E. That sound, it's dissonant, but it works, you know? And I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I must say that it really helped me because I studied what I studied, but then I developed my own style through learning process through this classical music and then punk and then other styles. So
You've
it
worked under several artistic identities over the years. Does Marina Vesic and Black Marine feel like different artists or simply different expressions of the same person?
well, the thing is that I'm using my name Marina Vesic as a composer, like IMDb credits, like in a film, or when I'm because I'm a composer for Composer Concordance in New York City, and for these kind of things, like as a composer, there is always Marina Vesic, but Black Marine is more like this kind of artistic approach of persona on the stage, like when I'm performing. So, but still, it's just me.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, I met you as Black Marine,
Yeah.
and because I try to I get into a lot of different group discussions, like Facebook group discussions, and I just suddenly see people saying interesting things. And I go, "Oh, follow that person," you know. And I think I guess I must have said something to you, or I must have said something. I know I say some pretty off the wall shit. Like recently, I said something crazy about. Did you know the past tense of when I am Shakespeare is
Oh yeah,
would
I
I
saw.
were
Yeah,
Shakespeare? And people go like, where does he come up with this stuff? I don't know. I just do. You know.
it's
Anyway,
creative.
so so you are quite a multifaceted woman, I must say. So Marina, your work ranges from orchestral writing and scoring films to Black Marine. I should have done a deeper dive into what your film scoring was, but honestly, I didn't. My bad. Can you tell us a little more about the work you've done in film score? I'm very curious.
So my first kind of interaction in this movie was when I was a student in Belgrade. So then there was like exam and someone would have like some kind of documentary, and then back then you would like have to compose something for that for their exam. That was a long time ago, and I remember back then it was like different. Like when you are working on the with computers with samples, it was different than today because I just remember like I know I can do it better, and No one actually heard that or saw that, only the girl that she was like finishing her exam. So it stayed like as an exam. So I never actually thought about film industry, to be honest. But somehow, like through my career and life, I had this opportunity 2015. There is a movie, Daydreamer, and I was there a sound assistant. Then the second opportunity came from a Spanish director, and that short movie was at the Cannes at the time, 2000, was it 17 or 18? I can't remember. It's called Robocracy. So I did music for that. And then there is the third short movie was Red, and it was my friend who lives now in America. He used to live in London for many years, and I mean, he is from London. So there is like my composition called Red, where I'm actually playing my violin. So I really love those two pieces that I composed, and it
When
fits
you
very well.
did when you did the Vampires Project, I was
Yeah,
listening to the intro to Prelude for from the Vampire, and also I think it was The Other and the Others. You
yeah.
started with I thought at first, how did she do that with MIDI? I couldn't. I was trying to find that sound. You didn't do that with MIDI. That was real.
Yeah, the thing is that actually Ray had, because Ray's producer of the album, The Vampires Project, and he had this idea like, Marina, why don't you like bring like strings like to give it a little bit like of like this kind of gothic vibe so that we have like some. But I think because he's a great producer, and I think anyone who is considering having a male producer, they should definitely go to Ray, right? So, because
I'll
I'm a
be
female
honest. I'll
producer.
be honest. I approached him with Eleanor.
Cool. So, yeah, I mean, the thing is that, there are like there was like a lot of great ideas, and then I had like these strings, and I just placed them before the song, and then there is like in this interlude, and then before the other song, so it fits very well. And as I said, I'm so grateful for what we achieved together, what we made together, and I believe that there is more to come with this album. I mean, it's
You
just
guys created a new genre. I thought everything had been done, and now we've got new goth level.
Melvin said like really great about album, like the new Gothic level, the Gothic symphony. He's like so good with words. I mean, his rapping style is just like extraordinary. I mean, it's just like, when I was so young, I used to love rap, and I never like understand why like back then. But then I understood like there is like this great rhythm, and then you usually like in the 90s on MTV back then, like you would hear like those like, let's call them like popular rap songs. They would
Like
have like
Jay-Z
those
and like
strings,
Jay-Z
like
and stuff
there
like
is
that.
like an orchestra section, and then I was thinking after, I'm not back then, but then later in life, I was thinking that's why I loved rap, because there was like symphony, but he was rapping, and there is like so many different kind of styles into one, because rap is not only like I'm rapping and that's it. It's a much more complex, and Melvin is doing amazing.
He is awesome. I don't know if you noticed that there was another show I did with a young man called Mr. Alexander, who's a rapper, and we were both talking. He really wishes he was a better mixer and a mastering, kind of thing. But his music was really interesting. He, in a weird way, reminded me of you because he does classical music, but he raps. And he's in here. He's in America. He's like 30 years old. He went viral when he was in his 20s. This is a show. It's he was before you guys.
Yeah.
He was like shockingly good. I was just shocked. I was like, who is this guy? You
Well,
know.
I'll check it. I'll check it
But
out.
like you, well, actually, the flip side of like you, I was not a big fan of rap when it first started. I have become a fan of rap, particularly when I see things like Kyren Alexander, Mel Davis. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man, these guys are amazing.
Yeah, I always say in the interviews, because I tell the truth. So the thing is that I I really loved like Snoop Dogg. He's cool. He's like so fun and he's like so great with children. He did like I think he did like an album for children.
I like Snoop too. He's
And
also a good actor.
he got a lot of my attention at the Olympics. He was like so cool, like with Martha, and I don't know.
And
Anyway,
can you imagine that Martha Stewart and
yeah,
Snoop Dogg together?
because
That
they're
was
best friends. Yeah,
did not see that coming. You
yeah.
know.
And then Snoop Dogg with all the like his
His
smoke.
hair
Yeah,
and yeah, but just the whole just you don't think Martha Stewart and I
but
just well, of course, one doesn't think Black Marine and Emmings the American either, until you hear it and you go, wow, that
yeah,
much.
no one see that coming actually because yeah, but I'm so happy we did it. And the thing is that when I first time heard Melvin rapping on Hair Killer, I was like, oh my god, I even didn't know that he's going to rap. I didn't even know that someone is rapping, right? But then with the time, especially with Call Me Anytime, and then every other song, and then I did tell him Snoop Dogg is not anymore like my favorite. You are my because Melvin D. He's like really, really great with words, with rapping, and he just loved piano. And you can hear like in those songs when he's like working around with the lyrics and his style, rapping style with the piano. You can feel that love. And I think this album sounds so good because we all gave love to that project and to the music and we all stay true to ourselves and just bring the best what we could. So
When I had all three of you on the show and I was listening to Mel's influences, he has a lot of the same influences as I do. Pink Floyd. Yeah, I mean, when he was saying all of his influences, I thought, wow, I really I had no idea what any of you were really into. That's why I have you on the show because I'm curious. So, looking back, what moment in your artistic life quietly changed Black Marine? What changed everything? Even if most people are watching your career that you would have never guessed when you look back, what moment in your artistic career changed everything?
when I finished university in Belgrade, I composed a piece for soprano and symphony orchestra. But at that time, I couldn't afford to pay the whole symphony orchestra to play my piece, which I wrote, orchestrated, composed, and then we were using samples so that professor could hear that, and we recorded soprano live on that. So this was like one option how you can finish the exam. But there were like a lot of different things that I did musically that I didn't know that I can, and I know I am challenging myself all the time with something new, but I don't know. I think that all the experiences what I had, I think as a child, and maybe that kind of like rebellion, like I'm going to do it, like when you are from Balkan, then you have like this kind of like I'm going to do it, so you just go and do it.
You
So
are you do have a very concerted, a very powerful will. I noticed that about you. It's like when you say you're going to do something, you do it.
yes, yes, yes.
Is there a project or a dream that you're working on or working toward, I should say, that you haven't had a chance yet to bring to life, to realize?
Well, I can only tell you that I'm working on that every day, and you will be the first one to find out.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And when you say you mean the audience.
Everyone will know the first.
What's one song outside of the classical repertoire that has stayed with you throughout your life?
uh, well, that's probably the music from the 80s.
From where?
From the 80s.
From the 80s, but is there one song
90s.
in particular?
Well, there is not like one song, but there are like really several great songs from the 80s.
On a difficult day, Marina, do you reach for a punk record or a classical?
No, it's more like pop music
So,
that was going around on MTV during the 80s and 90s. This gives me such a positive feeling.
one word that describes when you were standing in front of the Czech orchestra in Prague. One word that describes that experience.
One word. I think it's probably the word power. That moment that like you are working like so many years and that goes like this, like when you get like Grammy or Oscar, you have like 1 minute and then that's it, right?
Mhm.
So it just like I think that that moment it was just magnificent. Like I just wanted to capture every second of it because this doesn't come every day. So I just embrace it as it is. It just, I felt so powerful. I felt like I know I can do it. And I know that if I can feel it, that is right. If I can feel it, I know that audience can feel it as
You
well.
drew me in because when I was watching, because I don't know, I mean, even when I used to perform live a lot, there's always like the first few minutes of a performance where you're a little nervous. And then once you get into it, you're fine. You didn't look nervous at all. You looked like you were focused, you were concentrating. I didn't think at all that you might be asking, the viola player or whatever. I didn't think, how do I look?
That was at the dress rehearsal because stage was like smaller, and then I was
Oh.
like, "You're too near. You're so close to me." But no, I mean, it was like, when you work so long or something, you just can't wait for that moment. So I was just being there, present. So this
Oh.
is like the most power, the most important thing. Yeah, feeling.
So there's one more thing I wanted to talk about, Marina, about the song Nothing Left. Now, I know we can't hear that today because we're going to hear Shadow, but that brought you into the finals in Atlanta for this coming August on the 22nd at the International Singer-Songwriters Association, otherwise known as the ISSA. Can you talk a little about that?
So first of all, this is happening because of my great friend Jeff Tucker. He introduced me to this organization last year, and then he told me, Marina, your song "Nothing Left" it's really great. You should go with that song, and also with the video. And you know how we are artists, we are very critical about our work and so. And then I was thinking like, well, I know I can do it better because we all know we can do it better, but and then eventually I sent Nothing Left, and now even the music video is for like nominated for best music video. I mean,
You have a vision when it comes to videos. In fact, I'm
I
going to
love doing it. I love filming. I love it's so beautiful like to like to do it, to know like how camera goes, which direction. This is like really really amazing. But yeah, I mean, Nothing Left, I started to write in lockdown. It took me like 5 years to finish the song. The like the basic structure of the song, I had it like, let's say, like in a day. But the thing is that I wasn't like very happy because at sometimes it would be like so slow, or then I didn't like the chorus, or then I didn't like the intro. And then I had like several versions because I have like Patreon since lockdown. So I would send like my members like, this is a new version, then the next step, this is another version, and they have like all the versions, right? So then, until last year, I was very happy with the production, and Nothing Left is like a very strong like song that is autobiographical, and yeah, I then sent the song, and then now it's in the finals, and I'm so grateful.
Well, congratulations, because
I'm
Marina,
so grateful. Thank you.
you are kicking. I'm going to just say you are kicking ass all over the planet right now. Everyone, Marina Vesic, also known as Black Marine from Austria. Marina, I want to thank you so much for spending time with me tonight, particularly since it's midnight and you're probably in your vampiric mode. Uh, but thank you again for
Sure.
joining me.
Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you for this opportunity, and I love really talking to you.
Fading in right now, everyone, is the song Shadow, which she did perform live in Prague in April. And I was there when they repeated it recently. Thank you again, Marina. You have a wonderful evening, and please let's stay in touch. You are amazing.
Thank you so much, Peter. I just must say that the live performance was with the Czech National Symphony Orchestra, and the recording is with Philharmonic Symphony